I'm Cheryl Algie from Kerrang in Northern Victoria, Australia. And I had a couple of requests on way back on my blog about doing a Northern Lights card. So I thought, I went looking to see what I was going to do, because I had done this, those samples that I'd done were years ago. So I had remembered that there'd been this girl, now what's her name, I wrote it down. Right. There's a video by Chameray, Chameray, if you look on YouTube, and she does a much better job of this particular card that I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to do my best to try and emulate what she's done, but then I came across, as I was looking on YouTube and Safari as you do, I came across, I'm just looking to my left at a photo I've got. Oh, this is just, I'm just going to try and wing this, try and capture what I'm seeing here. And as Chameray says, it's best to find a photo that inspires you. So that's what I'm trying to do of the Northern Lights. So I've got my Daffodil Delight, and I'm just adding a bit of colour. Yeah, and as I was saying, I'm going to show you another way as well, which has not actually been done with, as far as I know, with card making supplies. There's a lot of artists on YouTube that do beautiful work. So I've adapted their excuse me, their techniques to, just going to sit that there, to do some watercoloured versions. So that was Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to bring in my Bermuda Bay. Oops, I want to put it on a block. I don't want to use it straight. Looks a bit wet, that one too. Just as well I'm using it off a block. So you want to dab off, like you probably saw me do before, just on my yucky scrap paper here. So then I want to come in, and you can do this however you like, of course. No rules in card making, as long as it turns out the way you want, eh? I'm kind of adapting some of the techniques I was using with watercolouring. I can't wait to get to the watercolouring. I thought I'd better show you both ways in case you didn't want to dive into watercolouring these samples. As I said, I'm not very good at this one, but we'll do our best. I have a couple of samples that aren't too bad that I'll show you in a minute. So I think Chameray used green, but I just thought I liked using the yellow, and when I put the Bermuda Bay in some areas it'll be green, if you can see what I mean. You need to have a lot of patience, which, well, I normally do if I'm crafting by myself, but if people are watching, waiting for the outcome, I'm not quite as patient, shall we say. Probably think that looks like a big mess, but it will get better. Yeah, I think that's enough of the Bermuda Bay for now. Now we need to bring in our Night of Navy and an actual Glauber. So we'll go straight off the ink pad for that. And another thing that she did was she used a block to place her finger on, which was a neat idea. This is the part that I was a bit shy on, shall we say, adding the navy. She did say to add lots of ink, so that's what I'm doing. So if we get that down first, as with all things, the more often you do it, the better you get. Hi Deborah. Hope everybody's staying dry. According to whoever you talk to, according to me, we haven't had much. You had any down your end, Di? Rhonda says they've had a couple of showers down there at that end, but I don't think we've had any here all day. It's hard to know with the tiled roof. But now, where do I want to go here? Don't have to go all between them, I don't think. Then she used the edge of the dauber. Let's get that stuck on my finger properly to get nice fine lines. This is the part that I wasn't that great at, but oh, it's getting there. As I said, I'm a bit impatient, so I think I might just do the surrounding bits. Let's see how we're going. This is the tedious part, isn't it, of stamping, sponging. Don't know that I'm liking the way this is looking. I should have stuck to copying one that I'd done before, I think. But when I just watched one of Shomare's, watched her video again, and she keeps going and going and going till she gets it exactly how she wants to, so how she wants it. So don't give up on it until your piece is complete. But I don't know that I like those stripy bits in there. I don't think I'm liking that. Hang on, where's my other one? Yeah, I don't think I should have had. You know what? I'm going to flip it over and start again, because I'm just not liking that. Start with my yellow. I'm just going to copy one that I've done previously. I don't think I want that in the blue. Actually, it's actually a lot easier to go this way. This is how I did them when I was doing the watercolouring, so we'll see. Just winging it a bit. Just do want a deeper yellow bit here. I'll just keep layering on the ink. I'm happy. I need to start off the edge a bit. Doesn't hurt to have a play, because it doesn't matter if you muck it up. You can start again, like I just did. Kind of want this to go into a bit of a greeny look here. Need a bit more. Oh, maybe I don't need any more Bermuda Bay. Just probably add a bit here. That might be. Yeah, that might be about right. And I think I'm going to go in with my sponge straight away here. Going to muck around with my dauber. Been having so much fun playing. I've only just finished playing with all, making up all the samples that I made, and yeah, having a play with them. Do I want, I think I might want a bit more Bermuda Bay coming down here. Yeah, that's more like it. And for the bottom, I'm going to have some mountains across the bottom, so I don't need to use Mountain Air for that. I think most of my ladies have used that set. I don't want to handle that card too much. This one, Mountain Air with the matching Majestic Mountain dies. And I just, what do I do with it now? I've just embossed silver onto black for that. Now I'm just going to come in here, just do the base of my card. Cut nice and dark. Do this edge here. And this one here. Should be using my block so I don't get my inky fingers all over everything. Should have some music playing, shouldn't I? It's a bit white there. Let's just wonder if I can get in that bit there with the dauber better. Yep, that's better. happy. I just want to... I haven't done as much detail as Shamaray has. You can refer to her video. I actually couldn't really get the hang of it. But so this is what my card, once I cut it down, this is what my card would look like. I'll show you a couple of samples I have made. Just doing that technique. Just put that to the side. Might actually get rid of all these too. Now I didn't tape my other ones down. I was going to show you the card, wasn't I? Because I didn't think it was necessary, but so these are the two I've done using that technique that I just showed you. They're not too bad, but I'm not altogether happy. I didn't put a greeting because I wasn't sure what I was going to use them for. What else was I going to tell you about them? So this one's blue, silver onto navy. And this one's obviously black onto silver onto black. So, oh yes, that's what I was going to tell you. So with most of them, I have flicked some diluted white ink onto. I didn't do it with this one. I've just done some water droplets because the ink is just so messy and it was going everywhere but on my cards. So I'm not going to show you that on camera today, sorry, because I don't want to get it all over my phone. It's just too messy. So now for the watercoloured version, you want to wet. Oh, I just realised I won't be able to wet the other side of, when I did my other ones. We'll see if it's going to make any difference. I wet the other side of the paper, the back side of the paper. Is anyone? Hi Sharon. Heaps of rain. Oh. Oh, thanks Deborah. It's nice that someone thinks that they look nice. You don't need to flood your paper. This is watercolour paper. I'm putting a bit extra on because I didn't wet the back of it this time. Now I've got to remember what I'm going to do, what I'm supposed to do. So I've got my Daffodil Delight first, and don't dilute your ink. So I want these coming down from that edge I'm copying off my card I did before, like that. And if you have your paper's too wet, you get a cauliflower effect, which I've got there, but it didn't really make a whole heap of difference, so I wasn't too worried about that. It's nice to have it that it's wet enough actually. Now, probably need a baby wipe to... The biggest problem is, for me this afternoon, is being able to get my brush clean without running out of all my water. Let's put in my... I've got a glass of water here. I mean, water's not scarce, but I'll have to leave the room to get some more. If you squeeze it through your brush, you get more out. Okay, next colour is the green, and I'm using Shaded Spruce, also full strength. So we're going to go this way. Yeah, it's still a bit wet. And then we're going to go this side. And one here. Yeah, I think that'll do. Okay, and grab baby wipe and get my brush. Don't want to muddy the water up too much, that's why I'm using baby wipe, but if you have all your facilities at hand, you wouldn't need to do this at home. You'd be able to just go and grab some more water. Probably doesn't matter too much because the next colour we're going into is Night of Navy, which is nice and dark. Sure what I want to do here. Maybe I want to do that. So I love how you can turn your brush to the side. You do feel like a real artist when you do this. I'd have to add a bit more water into there because it's getting a bit dry. My paper's drying out too much. And then I might start here. And this is where you could probably just squeeze a bit of water if your paper's getting a bit dry. Just squeeze a bit more water on it. That's probably the advantage over doing it with a paintbrush, being like artists do. There are heaps of videos on YouTube, so go watch some of them and see what you can come up with. I decided to stay fairly safe with my colours. You can do your pinks and purples, I guess, but I thought I would just stay with. And the reason they taped it, I probably haven't got my paper wet enough, was then they could, you won't be able to see that, they could let it run, let the paper like run a bit, which I can see, but you're not. It is doing a little bit of the cauliflower effect. And this side is actually, oh, well, that's because I added water, isn't it? Actually, I don't mind the difference in, just gives it a bit more texture. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a bit of water, squeeze a bit of water there to add a bit of texture there. And then, let me just, because I do want my brush clean for this next piece, next. Goodness. See my hands, you can see what I've been doing today. Look at my hands. Well, I'm not going out tonight. Come off. I just want to get this as clean as I can. That's a bit spent. Give it another go in the water. Oh. I need two, don't I, when I'm going live? I have got another one. I didn't want to actually use that until I'd ran this one out. Ran it out or wrecked it or whatever you say. Where's that other rag I had? Let's see, this old chamois thing. So I can get it fairly clean on there. best way to get these clean, so it's probably got blue in the water too, is to run them under the tap. So I thought it might work doing that, but see, it brings more colour out. There we go, it's getting there now. So then you want to, you can go both ways. We'll start here. I might use that again. And you want to clean off your brush in between as best as you can. And can you see what that's doing? It's taking off a bit of colour and adding a bit more interest. I just love playing with, I've really enjoyed playing with this technique. Just once I started, I didn't want to stop. And you can also go the other way. And just keep playing till you think enough's enough. That looked as though it was a bit muddy. You want to be careful not to muddy your colours. That's why you've got to be careful to, and that wasn't very clean, to clean your black brush off. You shouldn't do it like I just did. You should have a clean brush each time. And then you can come down like that as well. Go that way. I saw one girl doing this. She had quite a nice, like a swirly thing at the bottom. Looked really cool. Didn't seem to want to do it that well for me. It might be more visible when it's dry though. Just want to go there, and that was looking a bit muddy too. Yeah, so I could play with that forever, really. I'm going to leave that on there till it's dry. So then you've got, well, this is one I did earlier. So then you've got that effect, and then you I've just put some Wink of Stella on there. Just sprinkled that on, and I've also sprinkled. Actually, we can do that. Some water droplets with my other brush, the medium-sized brush. So just get it running. Come on. Depending what effect you like. The white ink does look great, but you just do have to be careful. There's that in there. So I'll show you that in a minute when it's dry. So then yes, you've got that. And where's my sample? What have I done with my finished one? hiding behind here. So I've done the white ink on that one. That was how, those were the same colours. It looks like I might have put a bit of Pacific Point in there as well. So you can do whatever colours. That actually does look really good, doesn't it, with the different blue. But when I'd done that one, I thought it looked better with all that blue. Anyway, it's your card, so you can do whatever you like. So that's the one that I just showed you. And I've done, this was my first attempt, and actually copied someone on YouTube doing, that looks a bit crooked too, the way I've stuck that on. Oh well, blind man, be good to see it. That was my first attempt, and yeah, I was really, really happy with that. And that was another one I tried on this direction. This one, you can see my paper, you've got to have your paper really dry before you put the white ink on there, and it wasn't quite dry. It takes ages to dry when I put the white on there, so that's why that was a bit of an experiment with a bit of pink. And this one I was quite happy with. Just did some swirly things in basically the same colours, I think. Tried a few different colours, a few different greens. Yeah, so I didn't put sentiments on any of them. I haven't even done the insides on any, because as I said, I've been chugging along with them, doing them practically all day. Even before I'd had my shower, I wanted to do make the ones, do those ones that I wanted to show you, so that they'd be dry enough to do everything else I wanted to. So this is looking fantastic. I think this one is looking great. Yeah, so I have to leave it there till it's dry though, because it'll, oops, that was my card base, I don't want that. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed that little tutorial. It's not so little, been here for an hour. So thank you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Friday.